on today's video, I want to give y'all a quick update as to what is going on in Infinite Galaxy on the Galactic Gekko family and my account and in general in Nebula 14. As we're 51 days into this game, is it actually worth playing this game? Why have we chosen to play this game? Some updates that happen and much more that I think are going to entice you to potentially try it out. So sit back, slap a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today we got another Infinite Galaxy video, and listen, a bunch of y'all are Rise of Kingdoms viewers. I understand that. Probably the majority of them didn't even click on this video, but those of you who did might be interested in perhaps joining this game at some point. Let me tell you this, 51 days into this game, I'm very excited as to a few things that are happening, and I'm going to show you some of it and much more. Before we start though, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe down below. We have our Galactic Gekko channel in the description down below as well. I'm uploading a video at the same time as this one with the latest and greatest updates from Infinite Galaxy, which you definitely want to check out. In the description down below, Galactic Gekko, come join us. And so here is the thing. In this game, it's been about 51 days since we started playing, and unbelievably, these guys have been releasing updates very, very consistently. Once or twice a month at least. This month we've gotten 2 updates. We got one on the 20th and on the 25th with massive changes. They added the ability to migrate for newbies, kind of like the beginner's teleport in Rise of Kingdoms, to allow you to switch Nebulas in case you want to. If your account was now created in Nebula Lord knows what and you want to come join us, you can by just using that teleport. And they added a bunch of other things. The craziest thing that Camel Games have done with Infinite Galaxy lately is that they rebalanced the cost of leveling up the flagships and things like that. They made it so that getting to that top level 60 it costs pretty much the same, but the lower levels cost a little bit less. That way you can progress a little quicker through the early stages of leveling up your flagships. And what they did is they literally compensated us with data chips for every XP that we essentially wasted. So think about it this way. I spent 192,000 XP more than others nowadays will spend on their flagships to get the same thing. So they literally gave us the whole amount back. Yeah, this is not 5 legendary commander sculptures, as I'm sorry for wrecking your legendary commander or something like that. They legitimately gave us everything they took away as a compensation, which is awesome. They also add new items to the game, like you have in here. They added these new flagship reset chips, and they give you items to start off with because this is something that wasn't there before. Back in the day, you used to have to use Corium to reset your flagships, and now you got to get these items with Corium, but at least you get 5 for free, which is free Corium. I mean, these guys have really been doing a great job at updating the game and keeping it interesting and doing what they can to progress the game. We know that there's so many more features coming in the next couple of months, and it's going to be very exciting. As far as my account, we are currently sitting at Command Center 20, building up Command Center 21, 4 days away from Command Center 21. We might pop that up at any moment. And we're now working towards our Command Center 22. Gathering has been the roughest thing in this game. Folks have made at least 1 to 2 farms each because it's just ridiculously hard to get resources, but that's not a bad thing. It slows down the pace of the game a little bit, and I can tell you that compared to other Nebulas, we have been progressing a bit quicker in the early stages than others per se. We've had a good amount of folks who have pushed really far up their spaceport level. I mean, folks levels 28 already, which is kind of nutty. I've seen Nebulas that are twice our age not having a single person with spaceport 28 and very few with 25, and we have 3 in here 25 already, which is kind of nutty. These guys have been progressing very quickly. I mean, Uncle B is already 24, which is absolutely bonkers. Q right behind him with 23. Our GGS family representing. Our Galactic Geckos have been doing, there have been a lot of changes in this Nebula. You guys can see that Galactic Geckos and GG4 are now about 5th and 6th place, but we have a little bit of fluctuation of members. We were missing a couple of folks in GG, and there's some changes in the Nebula in general. I don't know if you noticed, but HUT are no longer here. There was a removal of them from this nebula, which was done by ourselves and our comrades in IOD and CNQ. And that video is going to come out to the Galactic Gekko channel, I believe, tomorrow. So you might want to go check that out. I'll remind you in tomorrow's video where we talk all about war efforts in this game and how PvP works. It's really, really neat. We had a really good time, and thankfully it worked out in our favor. As you can see right here, the balance of power is weird, but all of these alliances are fairly close to each other. You can literally take away 1 or 2 members from either alliance and swap positions in here in a tremendous manner. And so the Galactic Geckos are doing really well. We've partnered up with a few alliances in our nebula, and we've also been in good communication with pretty much everybody that's in the top 10. We've had good conversations with every single alliance, which is how it needs to be, right? A few of them had some bad impressions about us, primarily because of a little bit of situations that happen in this nebula. But as time goes by, we're able to prove who we are and what we stand for. And like it or not, haters that exist here, and there are plenty of those, are not going to be able to ruin the fact that we are who we are and we stand by what we are. And quite frankly, I don't think we're doing anything bad. There are a lot of confusions, there's a lot of misinformation, and there are specific individuals who are literally playing in this nebula just to hurt me, which is hilarious. There's folks in this nebula who literally their number one goal is to give me a bad name in our Galactic Gekko family, a bad name, more than actually enjoy their own game, which is very sad, but it happens, right? It is what it is. So we've been having to deal with these things, and fortunately enough, folks who are a little bit more open-minded and just reach out and are like, hey, how are you? Who are you? What's going on? They tend to find out that the majority of the mumbo jumbo that these guys are trying to create just isn't going to work. And so we are about to cross the 10 million barrier. We can quite frankly do it at any point. I am in a debate with myself whether I want to wait for Galaxy Star or not to get a little bit of a power push going on. We have the middle opening up in about, I believe, what is this, 5 to 6 days. We have, it's going to come very, very, very quickly. So we're really looking forward to see how that works out. By the looks of it, at the end of this chapter right here, we will get the gates to open up. And the gates are going to be a nightmare. If we go take a peek at the gates, what you'll notice is that these Starfield stages, the AGN Starfield stage, is the place where you want to be. It is surrounded by fleets that, I mean, you can get rid of ahead of time, which is a good thing, but they are between 2.5 and I believe 3 million power each, and that's just the Guardians out here. Once you go take a peek at the 4 defensive buildings that you need to take out in order to take out the middle, you'll notice that there's 44 million power strong buildings that you got to defeat all of them to then be able to take out a 111 million power tier 9's building, which is absolutely bonkers to think that your inner gate has more power than if we go take a quick peek down here, you'll notice that at about 34 and below are all alliances that are weaker than the inner gate. It's actually kind of crazy. It's going to require a lot of good teamwork and communication to get these things done. Hopefully, we will be able to rely on our allies and friends to come to our aid, and as well as aid our allies and friends to get through. This is not a small thing. This is going to be a very, very cool event. We have all the footage of all the different gates we have done in the past, and the Galactic Gekko channel will start explaining to you guys things. I've been saying this for a little bit now, but with all the health issues, I just haven't had the drive to get that channel up in the air. But once we do, everything that we've gone through and all of our learning lessons and everything we know is going to be on that channel, so you guys can do the best possible in this game. Our group is growing, and it's growing strong. I'm really hopeful that about the future, not only of this game, but of our Nebula. It's truly been a pretty big learning curve. It's been a huge learning curve. This game is very different than any other game we've played, from having to figure out, like, you know, in Rise of Kingdoms, you take that level 3 pass and then you just flag away to the middle, and then you know, everybody does their own thing. In here, the middle is just like everywhere else, is star systems that are interconnected, and now you got to figure out which star systems you want to get and which star systems you don't want to get. And you got to remember that also, whichever one you get, it has an impact on the rest of the folks. So with 95 territories in the middle, if, for example, out of just pure example, you take the one of these dots right here, then, and it's the only way, if you take the middle one on our screen, which would be right there on the screen, and it's the only way to get to this bottom one. Now, no one else can have territory down at the bottom here because they don't have a way to connect it to their headquarters. And so now we got to figure out how, with 95 territories that are interconnected, how do we fit 4 or 5 alliances in a way that everybody has meaningful territory and, you know, can coexist in the middle. This is going to be a huge struggle. It was a pain in the butt to get to the point where we are in here with our friends from the Korean community, KRA, NCR, and PNR, who are, I believe they are Polish, but they're part of the Korean group in here, and KEA, of course. We figured out a way to all coexist in here. And so did the rest of the Nebula, really. But as time goes by, everybody wants to make it to that end goal middle. And whoo, that's going to be a huge task and an interesting one nonetheless. And from there is just continue to grind. This number one thing that I would say about this game that is hard is resources. The resources will kill you, and using speed ups essentially doesn't really pay off, because if you use speed ups without having the resources, now you're stuck in the speed ups went to waste. But if you use, you'll run out of resources before you run out of speed ups, and then you'll run out of speed ups while you have the resources. So it's like a consistent cycle in which the game maintains itself as balanced as it can for you to take your time through and be able to grind through the game, which is really good for low spenders and free-to-play players as well. Overall, I've been really loving this game so far. I've been spending a lot of time on it in between this and Rise of Kingdoms. I don't even know what my job is anymore. And so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update as to the Nebula 14 situation. In tomorrow's video, we're going to talk more about war mechanics and what you should know about wars and how they work and all that. And we'll show you some footage from the recent relatively big war we had in Nebula 14, where the Galactic Geckos and IOD and CNQ unfortunately had to take out one of the stronger alliances in the Nebula due to a leader, straight up a leader. It was very sad. We couldn't know, you know, who is the culprit or who isn't, but we knew that the leadership out there, at least the leader and 1 or 2 more of the R4s, were definitely not good people to have in our Nebula, and as a result, their whole alliance paid the price. Afterwards, we still tried to figure out how we get these players that exist there that weren't at fault at what happened to remain in the game, to remain in the Nebula, to find a new home. But it's just the unfortunate truth is that leadership pretty much determines how your alliance goes. And if your leader is one that is only thinking of themselves and only thinking of their own pride, then what ends up happening is what happened, unfortunately, to Hot, which was a leader that attacked us and then expected not to get hit back. And when he did get hit back, he threatened with war and went out looking for anyone possible to fight us. So, yeah, the whole story will be told in the Galactic Gekko channel in a separate video. But I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Appreciate this kind of video. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe down below. For the record, if you're playing this game, go to settings, pack exchange, Gekko, Gekko, free bundle, and you'll get a bunch of items out of it. So it's worth it. It doesn't do anything. It just gives you items. So go ahead and do that. It lets the developers know that you used my code, and I would assume that you got it from my channel. But I've been seeing people post this in Infinite Galaxy Discords all over the place. So, hey, keep using them. Get your rewards. Doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't do much. But, hey, rewards are rewards. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. And no stream. It's a holiday. I'm not going to be home tomorrow, but we'll stream on Sunday. We will definitely get ourselves a Sunday stream going after Osiris League. talk about the first day of Osiris and all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys there. Take care and have a great weekend. Peace.